So obviously, all of this comes out of the world of organic. So SEO is search engine optimization, and GEO is generative engine alliance. So here, let's talk about where they're alike. So how many of you have actually worked on your SEO? Okay, so a lot of what I'm about to share should be familiar to you. So for those of you who haven't, this will be helpful. So first off, it doesn't matter. Yes, Google coined the phrase EAT. I don't know if anyone's ever heard the EAT mentality, but it's experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trust. But Google's not the only one that wants that. The generative engines are looking for that too. So you still need to lean into content. So that means, and we'll talk about this as we talk about writing copy, but you can't put out fluff. Because if you're not putting something in specific about your expertise, then you're unlikely to come up in Google's algorithm as much as you are to come up in Perplexity's. The next thing that is very important is still the technical foundations of search engine optimization. You need to make sure your websites are truly mobile responsive. They have to be quicker loading, under 3 seconds. I know it's painful, but you have to work on it. And you have to make sure that you set it up to be crawled. That means that you do have to have linking content in your pages. You would have had to submit what is called a robot.txt file. These things are extremely important. Now, I know I'm doing a little technical geek here up here, I'm sorry, but we do need to know about this, otherwise we're not going to be able to grow and be found even in the generative engines. The next thing is you still need to work on what's called authority building, backlinks, citation linking. Great ways to do that are local press releases and other places that will link to you that have higher domain authority. And then also think about structured data in the way your pages go. Your headings, your body copy, your bullets. Now, bullets are so helpful for generative engines. They like anything that breaks down points, because if you've ever noticed, when you put something into Google now, you're not getting just an AI overview, you also get 3 or 4 bullets. So they like that kind of content. And then the last thing I want to remind you of is, just like search engine optimization, you do have to understand that this is an evolving area and we have to keep moving with it. So let's talk about the differences between them. So first off, with generative engines, you really want to optimize the content for how the AI is going to look at that information. I'm going to focus on the generative engine side. You guys will probably be more familiar with the SEO side. Here you also want to focus your content on clarity and contextual relevance. Go back to that chart that I gave you earlier. Make sure you get the slides, because that will be really helpful. Also, here you also want to think about the algorithms themselves and how they're parsing that information out, synthesizing it from multiple sources. User intent is extremely important, which we've already discussed, and then you'll see understanding the adoptions and the changes. But here's the one that I want you to really go back. I want you guys to go back and find content on your website, and I want you to restructure it. Content formatting is extremely helpful for being found in generative engines, and I'm going to show you some examples. And then last but not least, it's really important that you be tracking the referrals from here. So you'll see, if I've never noticed, at the top of a URL when you click from a generative engine to a website, look at the top. It says UTM source, and it will actually tell you through your Google Analytics that it came from Perplexity, it came from ChatGPT, it came from Claude. So why don't you guys go back and look at your own actual analytics right now and see if you can actually see if you've even been getting some visitors to your website this way.